Hey, Bob here. Today I'll be doing a build with the Rebel 60. It is probably the cheapest gasket mounted keyboard kit you can find, coming in at the price of 37 USD. Upon unboxing, you're greeted with a bag of screws, standoffs, and an Allen key, you'll see why in a bit, and pour on gasket strips. Underneath are acrylic feet that you can optionally attach if typing angle matters to you. Now you can see that there are different cutouts of acrylic, which explains the bag from earlier. The case is made out of stacked acrylic. The plate is made out of polycarbonate and comes with foam as well. Finally, we have the PCB. This is the CX60. Features a 64 key layout with RGB underglow. Unfortunately, it is a hot swap, but at this price point, I'm not really complaining. If you haven't noticed, this kit doesn't come with stabilizers, but the client wanted aftermarket ones anyways. I decided to use clipped, looped, and wholly modded Everglide screw-in stabilizers. Now that I'm done with that, I can reposition the plate foam and plate to begin inserting the switches. Note, I did test the PCB before building. For this build, I'll be going with Aqua Rose Reds, excellent budget switches if you haven't heard of them before. After inserting all the switches, I proceeded to test all the stabilizers. Upon testing, I noticed that the wire of the left shift stabilizer kept popping out when I inserted the keycap. So, off camera, I disassembled the board and solved the issue by replacing it with another set. So as mentioned, since this board is in hot swap, I'll be needing to solder the switches to the PCB. Welcome to my amazing soldering station located in my garage. Anyways, as I said, I've learned a lot since, and if you take your time and patience, soldering isn't as hard as you think it is. I personally think it's interesting and part of the experience. Once I was done with that, after testing the PCB and making sure everything worked, I moved on to the tape mod. This involves applying layers of tape to the back of your PCB, which creates a more poppy and deep sound when typing. After the tape mod, we can now move on to applying the pour-on strips. This kit came with 2mm and 3mm foam. You're supposed to apply the thicker foam on the bottom and the thinner foam on top. However, since this is my first gasket mount build, I didn't know that and did not realize until later on. So off camera, I switched the strips around and proceeded to assemble the case. I had to spend around 5 minutes just removing the protective paper from the acrylic panels, which was really satisfying until the paper ripped and I had to use my nails. Anyways, now I move on to stacking each layer and inserting the PCB into the keyboard. While inserting the standoffs, I realized that one was missing. However, it didn't really matter as it wouldn't affect the acoustics or feel. For the keycaps, the client went with a white and orange honey themed keycap set. It is XDA profile and made of PPT. It feels high quality and the legends are really sharp. Well, that's basically the end of this video. This was my first gasket mount keyboard build and I really like the end result. I'll be looking forward to building more gasket mounted keyboards in the future. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, consider liking or subscribing, it really helps the channel out.